Hello, what is up guys? EvilDuoSarm here today, back with another Black Desert video. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at contribution points in this game. So targeted for a newer player, like what is a contribution point? How do you get contribution points? What can you do with contribution points? How do I get my contribution points back? Things like that. This was a big topic of discussion in my live stream this past weekend, and I figured it's something that I need to make a video on. Because if you thumb through the EvilDuoSarm channel, he has so many friggin' videos that talk about using contribution points for node empires, for workers, for cooking, for inventory expansion, so many different things you can use contribution points for, but I don't actually have a video explaining what they are. And today, we fix that. So anyway, to get started with what a contribution point is, if you look in the top left of your screen, above your HP bar, you are going to see a little medal right here. This little medal are your contribution points. If you hover over it, you'll get a little pop-out explaining what contribution points are, and it'll also show you your current usage for them if you have any usage whatsoever. We're going to get to that in a second after we start going over what these contribution points can actually do. If you've watched any of those other videos on the channel that go ahead and show you all the different things you can do with them, you'll have a better idea. But in the most general sense of the contribution point, a contribution point is sort of like your prestige in the world of Black Desert. You acquire this from various tasks. The contribution points can then be spent in various locations in the game for various things. So for example, in a city, you can take contribution points and use them to expand your storage in the city by buying different houses. You can buy different workshops that'll make different items for you inside of these houses. So this is how you do like crafting in this game. You have to buy actual factories and hire workers and have houses for the workers to live in, all of these things that are bought with contribution points. You can also take contribution points and invest them in various nodes throughout the world of Black Desert. So every single location that you visit is a node, and each of these nodes, for the most part, will have some sort of resource that's available at it. So for example, at the Bree Tree Ruins, I currently have a worker that I hired using a contribution point system, farming wood from the contribution point system that I invested in over here. So contribution points are used to bring in sort of AFK income while you're not actually playing the game, and to help you build your resources up. A third use for contribution points is in cooking. Your total Imperial cooks that you can do in any given day is determined by your contribution point level. And the final major use for contribution points in the game is renting items. So there's a ton of different things you can rent in the game, like matchlocks, musical instruments, or one of the more practical items is obtained from any of the different storage keepers in the game. By clicking on the chat option, you can see that you can rent a container. This container allows you to have access to the storage of whatever city you're in, inside of your house, your residence that you've purchased in Black Desert, which you also bought with contribution points. And another major use of these that I thought of while I was talking about that one is renting fences. So in order to have a garden in Black Desert and be able to grow different crops, or animals, or all sorts of different things, you also need contribution points to be able to buy fences that you plant your crops in. So anyway, I think I've done a pretty good job here of showing you how many different things can be purchased with contribution points and why they are so critical to the game and its various mechanics. As I touched on a second ago, I literally have probably over a dozen videos, these are just a sampling of some of them, that involve farming contribution points. They involve increasing your storage space in a different city, they involve your cooking with the skill, they involve picking up node networks, picking out which nodes are the best nodes, how to get better workers inside of your node network. So all of that stuff that you use contribution points for that I just mentioned, I have dedicated videos. They're linked in the description below if you want to start learning more about those different things. As a rule of thumb though, you want to 100% be using your contribution points as you get them. Contribution points can be looked at as basically free money. This is money sitting up here that you are not taking advantage of. Everything in Black Desert is a resource, and if you want to get the most out of the game, you have to use all of your different resources. As a new player, the easiest way to see a return on investment for your contribution points is setting up a simple node network out of the first city in the game at Velia. You can pick up the two farms, Bartali Farm and Finto Farm, hire some workers here in Velia and expand your storage, and rack in an easy couple million silver every single day for doing absolutely nothing, literally nothing. You just have to feed the workers. Obviously, you can expand from here and min-max according to the other videos that you see on my channel if you get interested in it, but really, try to make sure that you're using these contribution points for something. Now, as far as obtaining more contribution points, every time you complete a quest, you're going to see different EXP rewards. So just for example, let me click on this quest right here, and in the little quest preview section, you're going to see some different rewards. The first one listed here is CP EXP 80. Your contribution point level is like a whole separate level, and like I said, it's like a prestige system. So as you complete quests in the world of Black Desert, you're going to be awarded contribution EXP. This contribution EXP builds up your like prestige, aka your contribution points. So the easiest way to get it is just straight up playing through quests. Like I said before though, I have videos on power leveling this if you would like to. Now as far as figuring out where your contribution points are invested, so let's say it's like a month and a half from now and you're like, man, I don't like where I have my current things working, how do I figure this out, how do I get my stuff back? The easiest way to do it is to hover over the contribution icon right here and start to look at the different things. So you'll see at the bottom there, you have a current usage, then you got a colon there, purchased house 145, node investment 149, rented item 10 in my case. As far as purchased houses go, in order to find those purchased houses, you're going to have to go through every single city in the game and figure out where you have these people working. So if you look around in a given city, if the icon for the house is white, it means you've purchased it. If it's blue, it means you can purchase it. And if it's gray, it means you cannot purchase it at this time. In order to purchase a gray house, you will need to purchase all of the houses that came before that in the chain. So to see which houses you've invested in, you just have to go to any different city in the game and look at which houses are white in that city to figure out how to get your contribution points back. As far as getting contribution points back, it's super simple. All you have to do is click on the sell option. Housing units can be bought and sold remotely. So if I want to buy this one back for storage, all I got to do is click purchase storage and I'll buy it back as a storage. The next option there were nodes, and in order to figure out where your different nodes are invested, you're going to want to use the node minimap icon. So in the top right corner of the screen, you have different filters you can apply to the map, and the filter you want to use is the last one, this final little globe icon right here. This is going to present to you a very different type of map, basically just kind of color inverted, but anyway, you are going to see different lines on the map. So here on the map, you can see that there are gold lines, white lines, and then no lines. If I zoom in over here on these gold lines, these are nodes that I have purchased. So every single node out in the world of Black Desert that you have purchased is going to have a gold line. Every single node that you could purchase will have a white line connecting it. And any node that you have not purchased or cannot purchase at this time will not have a line connecting it. Now, as far as buying nodes go, if you do not have a value pack running, you are going to have to navigate to the node manager. You have to physically visit the actual site in order to invest in the node. Now, if you have a value pack running, you can remotely accept these different nodes. So if I had a value pack, I'd be able to buy this node remotely. As far as selling nodes go, you do not have to be there. You can sell nodes remotely. You don't need a value pack to sell the different nodes that you've purchased, which is pretty cool. And the final item on that list are rented items, and rented items, you're kind of just gonna have to hope that you figure out which character has what you rented. There's not an easy way to figure that sort of thing out. Generally speaking, if it's like 10, it's either a fence or a storage container that I showed you a second ago. If it's like 1 or 2, it's probably a matchlock or a musical instrument. But beyond that, I can't help you much more with that. Kind of a rough one. There's no reclaim all or reset all button. You have to physically go to every one of these locations. Kind of sucks. But anyway, guys, that's pretty much going to do it for this general overview of contribution points. In the comment section below, let me know what you thought about this video. I think I'm going to go through and create it for all sorts of different stats in the game, because my live streams have gotten a lot of different questions about these more one-off types of stats. So if these are types of videos that you're going to want to see to get an overview of these different mechanics, please let me know in the comment section below. Or if this video sucked, let me know too, and I'll stop making videos like this. I really appreciate your guys' feedback for helping to make this content and make it for you. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching once again. I will see you at the next live stream over on Twitch, the next YouTube video right here, or wherever I happen to see you. Peace.